You talked about if Caitlyn did her own league. Do you know anything about what you would want to see her do? You said you'd partner with her and give her $100 million. That's the biggest offer that she's gotten.
If she would have let me be her agent, I would have in a second. And if she's like, I'll start a new league with you, I would get her whatever you want.
Caitlin Clark is an average golfer with a 16 handicap. So why is she flirting with a $10 million golf showdown that could change her entire story overnight? This is not a fake rumor. There is a real invite on the table that could put her on a tee box with cameras everywhere, a huge purse on the line.
Today's episode of News You Can Use, Caitlin Clark accepts a $10 million deal, olive branch, from none other than Dave Portnoy. About 5 minutes ago, he stated Caitlin Clark accepts Dave Portnoy invitation to participate in a sporting event and will be putting $10 million on the line.
And millions of people waiting to see if she shines or melts down. To see how we got here, we need to trace her golf story fast. Caitlin grew up with a pink junior club set and a dad who took her to the course whenever he could. Her favorite golfer was Rory McIlroy. She watched him on TV, dreaming about Augusta. During COVID, she picked golf up seriously with her Iowa teammates and her boyfriend Connor McCaffrey. Later, in Indiana, she kept grinding at places like Crooked Stick. Golf became her reset button. No press conferences, no sold-out arenas, just grass and quiet, and a game she could not completely control. Then the cameras arrived. In 2023, she played a PGA Tour Pro-Am, and the fairways were lined with fans in Iowa jerseys. People realized she did not just move numbers in basketball. Wherever Caitlin walked, crowds followed. The real turning point came at the ANNIKA Pro-Am on the LPGA. In 2024, she joked that her #1 priority was simple: do not hit anyone. A few holes later, she shanked a shot into the gallery and drilled a fan on the shoulder. The bruise went viral, the fan laughed it off, Caitlin signed the ball, and the clip was everywhere. At the same time, ticket sales exploded. Pro-Am Day jumped more than 1,000%. Social media impressions flew into the tens of millions. Golf Channel even extended live coverage because she was there. People started calling it the Clark effect. In 2025, she came back for year 2 with Indiana Fever teammates Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull as her celebrity caddies. They were joking around, taking turns hitting tee shots. Live on Golf Channel, Sophie smashed a drive straight into the crowd, hugged the fan, and instantly created another viral moment.
Guys, this is bad.
So, I haven't hit a golf club in months.
You got this. I would back up, and I'm not kidding. I killed a squirrel the last time I did this. Oh my god, this is so bad.
You got this.
This is making me nervous. Sorry. Yeah, guys, come on! Let's go! Oh, is that bad? Shit, come on, guys. Is that bad?
Nope.
Oh no, oh no. You got it, girl. Happy Gilmore.
You didn't hit him, he just wants a hug.
He did get hit.
He didn't even get hit.
Caitlin was rusty from an injury-hit WNBA season, but she still gave us one perfect highlight. A 35-foot birdie put on the 10th hole that she called before she hit it. She pointed, rolled it, watched the ball drop, and the announcers lost it.
I mean, this putt is unbelievable. Look at this freaking putt. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Caitlin Clark's got real talent, folks.
So where does the $10 million gamble come in? That is where Dave Portnoy and the Internet Invitational enter the story. The Internet Invitational is a made-for-YouTube golf series that already pulled in millions of views.
Caitlin Clark was one of the celebrities there, and at the time, Dave Portnoy noticed how serious both parties took the game of golf. He's got what he calls the he doesn't call it it's the Internet Invitational, okay? Teamed up with Bob Does Sports, I think, that does golf. I mean, I went and looked at the views on these things. I'm like, are you shitting me? Not just a few. We're talking 20 million views and a lot of views.
Portnoy is planning a sequel with a purse that could reach $10 million. On his show, he said he has invited 2 people so far, Kai Trump and Caitlin Clark. According to him, both said yes.
If Caitlin would start her own league with you, I'd give her $100 million and I have as many billionaires as you needed to start a league.
Think about what that means for Caitlin. On paper, she is a 16-handicap. She says she is praying to break 100 on a bad day and openly jokes about slicing the ball into the next fairway. LPGA coach Megan Johnston breaks down her swing and praises her posture, but Caitlin reposts the video with a caption saying the odds are high, she sliced it way right. She admits she tries to kill the ball instead of slowing down. Now drop that game into a high-pressure event built to live forever on the internet. Every swing is filmed, every chunk, every shank, every little club toss becomes a meme in seconds. The people who already dislike her from the WNBA would be waiting for any mistake. Therefore, the risk is huge. A bad performance becomes easy content for her critics. Headlines write themselves, overhyped, exposed, stick to basketball. But the upside is just as big. When Caitlin shows up, numbers move. At the ANNIKA, she drove more than 30 million social impressions and a massive spike in ticket sales. Nelly Korda said the scene around her felt like something out of a book and admitted it is crazy how many people Caitlin brings to another sport. If she plays well on this stage, even as an amateur, she proves that her star power translates anywhere. Sponsors see a crossover icon, not just a basketball player who dabbles in golf. There is another layer too. Some people in golf worry that celebrity guests like Caitlin and Kai Trump pull attention away from the women grinding for LPGA status. Others argue the opposite, that without stars like Caitlin, casual fans would not even know these tournaments exist. Every time she tees it up, that argument flares up again. So here is the real gamble. Caitlin is not doing this because she needs the money. She already has major sponsorships, a WNBA contract, and a global brand. She plays golf because she loves the mental challenge and the peace. She has talked about using golf to escape reality and has also joked about throwing her club in the water after tripling 3 holes in a row. She knows how brutal this game is. Saying yes to a $10 million event means turning that private escape into another stage, another arena where she is expected to perform in front of millions. If she shocks everyone, drains a few long putts, and keeps it together under pressure, the story writes itself. Caitlin Clark just turned a side hobby into one of the biggest crossover moments in women's sports history. If she struggles, she hands her critics a highlight reel they can use forever. So, what do you think? Should Caitlin Clark actually play in Dave Portnoy's $10 million Internet Invitational, or walk away and keep golf as her personal escape? If you are still watching, drop 10 million gamble in the comments so I know you made it to the end.
So, lads, today we're going to be talking about Sophie Cunningham, and one of the clips from Sophie Cunningham that I've been sent quite a few times. Sophie Cunningham is, in general, slowly becoming one of the kind of the more likable players in the WNBA, and this is realistically one of her pretty much, you know, defending the other players. She's defending the players in the league because of obviously the whole freaking the bullshit.
Caitlin Clark might actually quit the WNBA. After the WNBA banned her toughest teammate, Sophie Cunningham, a lot of people inside women's basketball are asking the same thing.
Well, we're going to talk about Sophie Cunningham making some comments about WNBA fans, what she believes fans may not have right about WNBA players, and how a lot of fans feel about, I would assume, hard plays, aggressive plays. I'm not quite sure. I think there's a difference between hustle plays and and aggressive defense and then dirty play. So I assume she wouldn't mean dirty play here.
Why would the face of the league stay in a system that punishes the players who protect her and still pays her less than new leagues are willing to offer? In this video, we are breaking down why Caitlin Clark is ready to quit the WNBA, what really happened with the Sophie Cunningham ban, and how a brand new women's basketball super league could steal Clark away from the Indiana Fever.
And she makes some comments about Project B that's very interesting. And I think she's saying the quiet part out loud, that some players may forego the WNBA, not unrivaled, the W, in order to play in this new league.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest star the WNBA has ever seen. She moves ratings, she sells out arenas, and every time the Indiana Fever play, the numbers jump. Yet night after night, she takes hard hits, extra contact, and cheap shots that the league is always one step too late to control. That is where Sophie Cunningham comes in. Sophie built a reputation in the WNBA as an enforcer. She plays physical, she sets hard screens, and she sends a clear message. If you go after my star, you are going to feel it.
There's Sophie Cunningham, the badass for the Indiana Fever, who is willing to fight.
Sure.
Which we are big fans of for Caitlin Clark. She was also a kicker in high school. Okay.
Oh, wow.
For the brand. Obviously, the kicker is the biggest badass on the court. I love everything about it. Sophie, welcome to Indianapolis. Love that she was a kicker. That's a big ball, too. Hey, that's a good thump. Wow. That's a good kick right there. Obviously, she chose basketball, became a professional. But I love that she stepped foot on the field. The amount of courage it takes. She was a black belt in 6th grade or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, an absolute dog. Now she's a member of the Fever. We're thankful for.
When fans started asking who would become Caitlin Clark's bodyguard in the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham was at the top of every list. But the league saw something very different. After a series of rough plays and viral clips, the WNBA came down hard. They suspended Sophie, hit her with fines, and according to many reports, quietly pushed her to the edge of a full ban. The public line was simple. The WNBA wanted to clean up dirty plays and protect player safety. Sophie did not see herself as dirty at all. In interviews, she said she was speaking for almost the whole league. She explained that there is a big difference between playing physical and trying to hurt somebody. She begged fans to judge WNBA players by who they are off the court, not by a couple of slow motion clips on social media. Fans did not all agree. Some people thought the WNBA had finally taken control and punished a player they saw as a bully. Others thought the league was going soft and was now targeting the exact type of player who keeps stars like Caitlin Clark safe. Instead of fixing the problem, the Sophie Cunningham ban made the debate even louder. Now add the thing that changes everything: money. On the Good Follow podcast, WNBA legend Angel McCoughtry talked about a new league often called Project B.
The lady on the left is Angel McCoughtry. Like I said, we're talking about a real force in the league. 5-time All-Star, 2-time steals champ, 2009 Rookie of the Year, 6-time All WNBA, real player, hell of a good player. And she comes out, they're talking about Project B. They're talking about the money that Project B is going to pay and how that's going to, she gives you a perspective of how players are going to look at this money, and you can tell from her reaction, it's like, whoa.
She said this new women's basketball league is ready to offer minimum contracts around $2 million and give players equity in the league. She directly compared that to current WNBA salaries, where many players still sit around the low 6 figures.
So, would you join Project B?
I would. I mean, I was making during that time probably the max was $90,000. I mean, even just say like you haven't been playing the league for what, 1-2 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just even talk now. You're a current.
Okay, I'm a current player.
These players are making max 250.
Now I'm making 250, then 90. And let's see. 5 million, 2 million. I mean, guys, you do the math. Who's going to turn that down? And then I have a chance to have equity in this league, and this league could possibly grow. I mean, Project B, AKA Project B, let's get it.
Angel asked a simple question. If a player can make $5 million and own part of a league, why would she keep putting her body through a full WNBA season for a lot less money?
It is common sense. I mean, honestly, I see a lot of girls. If you're going to get paid $5 million, why put your body through playing in the WNBA? That's what I see coming.
Then Angel McCautry brought up one name, Caitlin Clark. For Caitlin Clark, the numbers are even crazier. Angel said a new league would have to offer Clark somewhere between $15 and $25 million per year to match the value she brings. That is not fantasy money. That is what it might cost just to keep Caitlin Clark from walking away from the WNBA and from the Indiana Fever. So now look at Caitlin Clark's situation. On one side is the WNBA. It is the league she grew up dreaming about. It is full of legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird. It is where she wears that Fever jersey, hears the home crowd, and plays for WNBA titles. But it is also a league where she has already taken some of the hardest hits we have ever seen, where her teammates, like Sophie Cunningham, get punished for playing physical, and where her salary is tiny compared to what she brings in for TV networks and sponsors. On the other side is Project B, or any new super league that wants to shake up women's basketball. Bigger paychecks, shorter seasons, equity deals. A business model built around protecting stars like Caitlin Clark from day one, because they are the product. There is no history, no WNBA banner, but there is life-changing money and control. When fans hear a title like Caitlin Clark ready to quit after WNBA bans Sophie Cunningham, it can sound like pure drama, but when you stack up the facts, it starts to look like a smart business move. The WNBA has shown that it is willing to ban or suspend the few players who are willing to stand in front of those hits for Caitlin. It has shown that it is slow to update salaries and revenue sharing, even when one player is clearly carrying the league into a new era. Meanwhile, other leagues are lining up with contracts that could secure Caitlin Clark's family for generations. So here's the real question. Why would Caitlin Clark stay? She can stay in the WNBA, keep trying to lift the Indiana Fever, and hope the league finally pays her what she is worth and protects her the way a global star should be protected. Or she can walk away, join a new league, and force the entire basketball world to follow her. Right now, the WNBA is acting like it can afford to lose players like Sophie Cunningham. The truth is simple. If those decisions push Caitlin Clark even one step closer to the exit, the WNBA is gambling with its own future. If you were Caitlin Clark, what would you do? Stay in the WNBA with the Indiana Fever and fight to fix the league from the inside, or quit and take the money from a new women's basketball super league? Tell me in the comments what you think Caitlin should do next and whose side you are on in the Sophie Cunningham drama. And if you are still watching, drop Clark will decide in the comments, so I know you are one of the real ones following every twist in Caitlin Clark's WNBA story.
This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about this, and they said nothing. And it just goes to show that all of us who have been speaking out about this and saying, like, it doesn't seem like you guys are giving Caitlin, you know, the kind of props that she deserves for bringing all these eyeballs and, you know, the Caitlin Clark effect that we talk about, viewership, money, all of those things. All of the people who were shouting this for the entire WNBA season, this is an instance where we are proved correct.
WNBA sponsors abandoning the league for Caitlin Clark. Those are not just dramatic words in a title. That is the actual nightmare scenario now being whispered inside Adam Silver's office, as brands quietly shift money away from the WNBA and directly toward Caitlin Clark. This is not another Caitlin Clark highlight reel. This is a WNBA crisis.
She also teased Nike seems to be on board. Again, Nike, Christmas time is here. People are buying Christmas gifts right now, Hanukkah presents right now, holiday stuff right now. Caitlin Clark reveals that she's got a PE, a golf shoe PE, on the way. That's big news.
In this video, we are breaking down why WNBA sponsors are walking away from the league, what they are building around Caitlin instead, and how this could become the tipping point that blows up the current WNBA leadership. Because when sponsors decide that Caitlin Clark is a better investment than the WNBA, you do not just have a PR problem, you have a power problem. And if this keeps going, it might be the beginning of the end for the league as we know it. From the moment Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA, the numbers went crazy, ratings jumped. Arenas that had been half empty for years suddenly sold out. National networks started leading with Indiana Fever highlights. Clips of Caitlin pulling up from the logo did more views in one night than some teams did in an entire season. WNBA sponsors saw those numbers. They saw that every graph had the same story. One player at the center, Caitlin Clark. At first, everything looked normal. Sponsors signed league-wide deals. Their logos showed up on the court, on the broadcast, on the jerseys. The public message was simple. We support the WNBA. But while the league tried to spread the spotlight around, those same sponsors were watching the data in real time. Social engagement, search trends, jersey sales, ticket resale prices when Caitlin came to town. Every metric screaming the same thing. The WNBA audience is following Caitlin Clark. So the questions started behind closed doors. Executives calling the league office and asking very direct questions. Can we get more Caitlin Clark games on national TV? Can we make sure Caitlin is in our primetime windows? Can we build full campaigns around Caitlin Clark and her WNBA story? And this is where the league made its biggest mistake.
You see her at this event. You see the kind of noise that this is making. You see that this is trending on social media. You see that SportsCenter, Bleacher Report, all of these places, every media outlet is covering this, and you don't say anything. That's what we were talking about this whole season. We were correct. The fans that were saying that the WNBA seems to be trying to quiet the noise of Caitlin Clark, not letting her shine to her full ability, and not, in turn, not helping your own players in the league, we were right. And this event proved it because the LPGA did literally everything correct.
Instead of protecting its golden goose, the WNBA threw her into a meat grinder. Hard fouls, cheap shots, constant drama about whether she is overhyped. More energy spent defending the physical play than guarding the one player who is paying everybody's bills. Fans noticed. Sponsors noticed. Because every time Caitlin Clark got hit with another dirty play in a national WNBA game, social media did not talk about the league's toughness. It talked about the league's insecurity. So, sponsors made a choice. If the WNBA would not treat Caitlin Clark like the centerpiece, they would. We started seeing endorsement deals where the WNBA logo got smaller, while Caitlin's face filled the frame. Commercials that did not even mention the Fever, just Caitlin Clark and the product. Cross-sport events where Caitlin was the main attraction and the WNBA was barely a footnote. In other words, money was moving. Quietly, but clearly.
They capitalized on the moment. They found a way to put it on television. They allowed people to be there. Caitlin was signing autographs. They put their best golfer in the tour, league, whatever it's called. They put her with Caitlin because they knew that she would get more eyeballs doing it. They propped up all of their golfers in one event. And you would be crazy to think that they're not going to have another event and invite Caitlin to it. They're going to invite Caitlin to as many events as they possibly can.
Now picture the scene inside Adam Silver's world as this WNBA sponsor exodus builds. You are in a meeting. The latest report hits the table. One major sponsor says they are restructuring their WNBA agreement. They still want some league presence, but now they want exclusive rights around Caitlin Clark content and appearances. Another brand announces they are shifting dollars from generic WNBA promos into a Caitlin Clark focus campaign that will live on social, streaming, and live events. On paper, the league still gets paid. The checks still clear. but everyone in that room understands what is really happening. The value is no longer tied to the WNBA logo. It is tied to Caitlin Clark herself. And once sponsors figure out they get a higher return by following the star instead of the shield, everything changes. The league is no longer the product. Caitlin Clark is. That is why insiders are calling this the tipping point. If one sponsor abandons the league for Caitlin Clark, it is a warning sign. If 3 or 4 follow, it becomes a vote of no confidence in WNBA leadership. Team owners start asking hard questions. Why is our biggest asset taking the hardest hits? Why does every viral moment seem to happen in spite of league strategy instead of because of it? Why are sponsors asking about Caitlin Clark tours instead of WNBA playoff packages? And fans feel it too. If they start to believe the WNBA resents the same player who made them care in the first place, they will not stay loyal to the league. They will stay loyal to her. Here is the nightmare scenario at full speed. Several core WNBA sponsors abandon the league model and follow Caitlin Clark directly. Ratings for games without her fall off a cliff. Expansion plans get delayed. Marketing budgets get slashed. Players who fought for more investment are suddenly told the money is gone. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's brand does not slow down. She does specials, documentaries, global tours, maybe even other sports and crossover events. Wherever Caitlin goes, the sponsors follow because the audience always shows up. At that point, the question is simple. Can the WNBA survive without Caitlin Clark? Or has the league itself trained fans and sponsors to care more about the player than the product? Here is the truth that current WNBA leadership does not want to face. You cannot build a modern sports league while fighting the gravity of your own superstar. You cannot cash the checks that Caitlin Clark's name creates and then pretend she is just another rookie. And you definitely cannot let her get hacked to pieces on national TV while telling her fans to calm down and be patient. The sponsors see it. The fans see it. The algorithm sees it. Every clip, every rating spike, every sold-out building says the same thing. The future of the WNBA is either built around Caitlin Clark, or it gets built without the WNBA. There is still time to fix this WNBA crisis. The league could choose to fully embrace the Caitlin Clark era, protect her on the court, put her front and center in every major campaign, use her spotlight to build new stars instead of trying to dim her light. But if they do not move fast, the market will make the decision for them, because money always follows attention, and right now, attention in women's basketball has one name on it: Caitlin Clark. Do you think WNBA sponsors are right to abandon the league for Caitlin Clark? Or are they helping destroy the future of women's basketball? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see just how deep this power shift goes, watch the next Caitlin Clark video that is on your screen right now. And if you are still watching, drop Clark Overleague in the comments so I know you made it to the end.